This is Mac OS Ken.
More consideration of the Bloomberg iPhone story. Apple alerts some Pegasus targets, and taking a walk with a real prince. It is Monday, the 6th of December, 2021. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Ladder. Smart, dynamic term life insurance. Learn more at ladderlife.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Upstart. Fair and fast personal loans. If high-interest loans or credit card debt have dragged down your year, you can plan for a better one with Upstart. With Upstart, you can take care of existing debt quickly and easily. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 1 million people have used Upstart to get a simple, fixed monthly payment with a clear payoff date. Upstart looks at more than just your credit score, factoring in income and current employment. You can check your rate without impacting your credit score in minutes for loans between $1,000 to $50,000, and you can receive funds as fast as 1 business day after accepting your loan. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/macOSKen. UPSTART, that's upstart.com/macOSKen. Don't forget to use my URL to let them know I sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Upstart.com/macOSKen. Puzzlement ended the week last week around Bloomberg's story on disinterest in iPhone. Last Wednesday, the business publication ran a piece that had secret people saying Apple had told suppliers that demand for iPhone has slowed. The piece said the company told component suppliers the demand for iPhone 13 has weakened, signaling that some consumers have decided against trying to get the hard-to-find item. The secret so-and-sos are said to have said that folks are giving up on iPhone 13, that sales missed this quarter will not be made up next quarter, contrary to the thinking of most analysts and industry watchers. Early out of the gate with a "nuh-uh" note was Raymond James analyst Chris Casso. I told you late last week of his assertion that to be taken seriously, such a story would need to say something about Apple changing orders for iPhone. Not only did the Bloomberg story not mention any such changes, his own firm has heard nothing of recent production cuts. And so Casso stuck with his buy rating on Apple shares and his price target of $175. Apple 3.0 has gathered a few other reactions in Bloomberg's wake. As unmoved as Mr. Casso was Merrill Lynch analyst Wamsi Mohan, though he was unmoved for a different reason. Mohan's expectations for iPhone were already lower than the streets. He's called for sales of 79 million iPhones this quarter, 3 million less than consensus, and 46 million next quarter, trailing consensus by 10 million units. Since his iPhone expectations were already lower than many, and since his firm has also not heard anything about a reduction to production, he's leaving his expectations as they are. Mr. Mohan has a neutral rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $160. While Apple shares did not escape the Bloomberg story completely unscathed, another Bloomberg scribe noted little movement among shares of Apple suppliers. The site's Mark Cranfield thinks most shares might have stayed steady because traders don't want to be burned again by selling too early. That might harken back to the seemingly annual December cries of despair around waning iPhone demand, followed by blowout December quarter numbers. Finally, above Avalon's Neil Seibert feels like there is something fishy going on. He seems to suggest that the secret sources from whom Bloomberg heard could have been from funds that would benefit from a fluctuation in Apple's shares. Quoting his piece, the way this strategy would work is that a fund or funds began buying Apple shares on Tuesday morning with the intention of kicking off a momentum-fueled move higher in price. It takes a surprisingly small amount of demand to temporarily get Apple shares moving higher before additional demand quickly enters the market. As Apple shares shot higher, more players jumped in with algorithms picking up the stock's outperformance. The fund or funds that kicked off the initial move higher sold their shares, making a profit, and then went further by shorting the stock as the stock continued to soar. He doesn't say that that is what happened, but he does suggest it as a possibility. Good news, everybody. The system is working. By which I mean when Apple finds out that somebody's been targeted by government-level spyware like NSO Group's Pegasus spyware, Apple is letting those someones know. Kapla! MacRumors cites a Reuters report saying Apple has notified at least 9 U.S. Department of State employees that they may have been targeted by state-sponsored spyware created by Israeli company NSO Group. NSO Group says it will look into the matter, quoting the organization, "If our investigation shall show these actions indeed happened with NSO's tools, such customer will be terminated permanently and legal actions will take place." That's a bit like closing the barn door after the winged horses are out, isn't it? The company says it'll also cooperate with any relevant government authority and that it will present any information it has once it has it. News of Apple's notifications follow close on the heels of Apple saying it was suing NSO Group to stop Pegasus and its pledge to let people know when they're believed to have been targeted. If Apple discovers activity consistent with a state-sponsored attack, it says it'll notify users in 2 ways. A threat notification is displayed at the top of the page after a user signs into appleid.apple.com, and Apple sends an email and iMessage notification to the email addresses and phone numbers associated with the user's Apple ID. Apple says those notifications also tell targets what to do next to protect their devices and data. Here's a kind of strange story. 9to5Mac says Apple is fighting an order in Russia requiring it to let developers promote payment methods besides Apple's own in-app purchase mechanism. I say the story is strange for a couple of reasons. First, rulings like this are rolling around the world like a wave. Kind of feels like a foregone conclusion, like the writing's on the wall, that it's all over but the shouting. Second, and this is the weirder one to me, Russia said in August that Apple had to let developers steer customers elsewhere. They wanted that to be in place by the 30th of September, which we are way past. A piece from RT says regulators warned in August that the Cupertino-based multinational could face a fine that would be calculated based on its revenue in Russia. With the deadline way missed, Russia's Federal Anti-Monopoly Service has started legal proceedings against Apple. It is apparently that enforcement that Apple is challenging in Russian court. A warning from cops in Canada. Car thieves are using Apple AirTag to boost rides. Canada's York Regional Police Department has posted the tale of techno-terror. Since September 2021, the post says, officers have investigated 5 incidents where suspects have placed small tracking devices on high-end vehicles so they can later locate and steal them. Brand name AirTags are placed in out-of-sight areas of the target vehicles when they're parked in public places like malls or parking lots. Thieves then track the targeted vehicles to the victim's residence, where they are stolen from the driveway. The post is kind of funny. Police say brand name AirTags are used, but they don't say Apple, and they don't use the AirTag spelling that Apple uses. I guess that means they could be worried about Tile as well, though the demo pictures in the post only feature Apple's tracker. The post also has suggestions for keeping cars safe. Park them in a locked garage if you can. Use a steering lock. Stuff like that. What the post does not do is mention the anti-tracking measures Apple has built into AirTag, though a video linked to that post does. More news in a moment, but first a word from Ladder. Smart, dynamic term life insurance. This is true. I was nearly in a car accident yesterday. Seriously, it's one of those moments where I just saw us hitting the car, right? Where I saw the car I was in sailing into the car that made the illegal turn in front of us. I'm seriously not sure how we didn't hit. Now, the folks in the car that I was in, we were wearing our seatbelts. I'm sure we would have walked away. But things like that happen. Things that are random, things that are stupid, and things that could upend the lives of those we leave behind. That's why people get life insurance, especially term coverage, which is surprisingly affordable. You pay a bit each month to protect the ones you love. If that's something you need, choose Ladder. When you go through Ladder, everything happens online. No doctors, no needles, and no paperwork when you apply for $3 million in coverage or less. That said, if you do want to talk to somebody, Ladder has a team of licensed agents who don't work on commission. They're there to help, not to upsell. And it really couldn't be simpler. Going through the initial screening took me less time than you'll spend listening to today's show. So go to ladderlife.com/macOSKen today to see if you're instantly approved. LADDER, that's ladderlife.com/macOSKen. ladderlife.com/macOSKen. One of the Avengers has ghosted another. Deadline says Scarlett Johansson has dropped out of the planned Apple TV Plus film Ghosted due to a scheduling conflict. The film would have served as a post-Marvel on-screen reunion for Johansson, Black Widow from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Chris Evans, MCU's Captain America. So, no Marvel reunion, though the film will still see another reunion for Evans. Ana de Armas will take over for the departing Johansson. She and Evans were co-stars in 2019's Knives Out. No word on when the film will hit Apple Streamer, though shooting should start pretty soon. The piece says producers want to get started on the film in February. That is the timing that didn't work out for Johansson, according to the report. And finally today, did you know that Time to Walk on Apple Watch comes in seasons? Wait, I'm sorry. Do you know what Time to Walk is? Announced in January of this year, Apple says Time to Walk is an inspiring audio walking experience with Apple Watch for Fitness Plus subscribers, created to encourage users to walk more often and reap the benefits from one of the healthiest activities. Each original Time to Walk episode invites users to immerse themselves in a walk alongside influential and interesting people as they share thoughtful and meaningful stories, photos, and music. So yeah, you need an Apple Watch, a Fitness Plus subscription, and a set of Bluetooth headphones paired to that watch. Notable Time to Walkers have included Dolly Parton, Carmelo Anthony, Zachary Quinto, Gabrielle Union, Reba McEntire, and, joining the ranks today, Prince William. Apple announced via press release last Friday that His Royal Flyness would take part beginning today. In his Time to Walk episode, says the release, Prince William talks about the importance of keeping mentally fit. He also reflects on a lighthearted moment when he was drawn out of his comfort zone, the value of listening as a way to empower others, and an experience that led him to prioritize mental health. In conjunction, Apple says it is making donations to 3 charities chosen by Prince William in the field of mental health support. They include Crisis Text Line in the US, Shout 85258 in the UK, and Lifeline in Australia. Interestingly, it's not just Fitness Plus subscribers who can hear his princely tones. Apple will also run Prince William's Time to Walk episode 3 times on Apple Music One. It's scheduled to air twice today, Monday the 6th of December, once at 8 a.m. London time and again 8 a.m. Los Angeles. It'll air one more time on Tuesday, the 7th of December at 8 a.m. local time in Sydney. Apple's press release says Prince William's Walk will wrap the 2nd season of Time to Walk, which I did not know came in seasons. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Upstart. Fair and fast personal loans. Learn more and check your rate at upstart.com/macOSCan. This show is also sponsored by Ladder, smart, dynamic term life insurance. Learn more at ladderlife.com/macOSCan. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. info@macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.